This week on Motorhead Garage, Brian and John wrap up a classic vet and a line of truck suspension. But before that, we get one last look at the abilities of a Waterjet cutter. Next on Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting.
Welcome to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. You know, over the last couple episodes, we showed you some of the great attributes of the MultiCam V-Series Waterjet table, and it's been really neat to see a bunch of different things and a bunch of different kind of aspects that the unit has to offer. But there's one major element that we haven't touched on yet, and that is the ability that this unit allows you to design and build things. Now, our Project Mustang has these really cool coilover front shocks on it. Unfortunately, those coilover front shocks are being held to the car with this really kind of weeny, thin metal reinforcing plate. It's bent, it's misshapen, and we're going to use the V-Series Waterjet table to actually recreate this plate in a more suitable material so our car doesn't have chassis flex and actually handles the right way. So once again, joined by Chris from MultiCam. And Chris, we figured out a problem. We're going to solve it the old-fashioned way, but your solution is way better than the old-fashioned way.
Okay. Old-fashioned way was send it outsourced, go get somebody else to cut your part, wait 2 weeks, bring it back, and oh man, I need to make some adjustments, right?
Well, I figured out we had that problem with the mounting plate on the Mustang. About 5 minutes later, you guys had the thing scanned, and we cut a prototype. Now we had a piece of scrap. We cut the prototype out of that. What am I looking at over here now?
So now we've made our adjustments. This should be a good part. We're going to get to go test it out here in just a few minutes.
So the MultiCam Waterjet table is working on cutting the part out right now. You know, one of the things that's important to talk about in this process is when you send your stuff out to somebody else, not only you're relying on their timetable and their pricing structure, you're also relying on them protecting your intellectual property. You don't want to give that away.
Absolutely. A lot of times you are working on something that could be sensitive. You know, we're working on a bracket that is on thousands of vehicles, right? We should go into business right now.
I think we might be onto something here.
So this is the rapid prototyping process. This is something that you can do in-house, come up with an idea, quickly make it, test it, make a couple adjustments, and then, man, you've got a product that you're ready to now introduce to somebody to take to market.
And again, the brilliance of this style of cutting, being that it's a cold temperature process, it gives us a finished product. We're not going to take this thing off and deburr it and grind on it and change it. It's going to come off, we're going to pick it up and drop it on our Mustang.
Ready to go. Yep.
Pretty amazing stuff. And right now it's actually making the very final cut. You know, one of the things that's interesting too is the prototyping process is about taking a couple shots at something. You know, it's not necessarily about hitting it out of the park the first time.
Right.
The speed of being able to do it here, you know, we're a half hour into this process.
Time is money. You're totally going to be able to take this part. Let's compare the ones that you've got there.
So we went with the thicker material because of the fact our original was bending and everything. So this is our prototype piece. Now this is the nice thick finished product.
That's the nice thick finished product. Because remember, the original piece was about that same thickness, and look how bent up it got. So let's go to the car. Let's see if it fits.
I'm following you.
All right.
So really neat process here. You can tell it's environmentally friendly. It uses water and an abrasive. It's not, you know, there's nothing crazy going on in there. So let's find out if our finished product is going to drop right where we need it to.
All right. And right on.
That
was try number 2.
Yeah, try number 2, and we were inside of an hour to get them both done.
And the first one was actually quite nice. It fit as well. Okay.
Yeah, we just needed to make an adjustment on this bolt hole size.
We wanted that bolt hole to go on a little bit better than it did, so it does now, and we wanted it thicker. Those 2 adjustments, that part's ready to go.
Well, you know, the main kind of crux of the deal here with the MultiCam Waterjet table is that if you can draw something, you can cut it. Proof positive right here.
Proof. You can draw it, you can cut it. It takes all of the stress out, too, of waiting for somebody else. It brings that quality control in-house. I'm not depending on somebody else's quality. It also, once I've got this machine, I've perfected this kind of capability, guess what? I'm now the local expert in my community.
Listen, we got a bracket that's going to fit like 8.2 million Mustangs out there right now. I think we're out of our mind if we don't make a run of, say, I don't know, what, 16, 18, 20 of these things?
Let's do it. Okay.
So it's just that easy. We got to program into the deal. Scott hit the button, and now this is going to use that piece of material to make a whole run of product out of.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I really appreciate Scott doing the job to nest it. You're going to need somebody in-house, just like our guy Scott. He took that product. We said, we need 16 of these now. We've sold them. We got to make them. But we want to maximize the amount of product in that material. Again, saving us money, more profit. Okay?
And the productivity element, because this thing's going to work and do the job quickly.
Again and again and again.
Chris, thank you so much for coming in. John Gardner's going to have to find a new co-host because we're going into the bracket business here. We'll be back with more Motorhead Garage right after this.